What advice is so good you don't want to share it? Advice 1. It's not crazy, but if you need to use the bathroom at night when you turn on the light, keep one eye closed until you're done. Then when you turn the light off, open that eye. It'll be adjusted to the dark so you can easily navigate back to bed with night vision. Advice 2. When you're stuck in a rut of not taking care of yourself, pretend you're a sim like in the video game, and imagine someone's controlling you to get all your needs bars back to green. For some reason it works, even for cooking and washing dishes. It's fun to feel like you're leveling up in cooking, writing, or whatever else. Advice 3. Drink a glass of ice-cold water first thing in the morning. It jump-starts your metabolism as your body works to warm it up. Super simple but surprisingly effective. Advice 4. I once spoke to a homeless man who said he'd empty and clean a dog food can, then fill it with beef stew. He'd eat it outside a grocery store while asking for money or food. It worked to evoke sympathy. I almost don't want to share this. Advice 5. The park ducks are free. You can take them home. I have 458 ducks. Advice 6. When I was 16, I figured out that sleeping 8 hours or more before school made me feel less awful. I've been doing it ever since. Advice 7. When someone shares a story or life experience, respond with something similar or relatable. Be subtle. Make it comparable but not cooler or better so you don't seem like you're one-upping them. Be approachable without sounding like you're bragging or overshadowing. Advice 8. Picture your ideal happy life, then break down each aspect into a goal to work toward, always dividing bigger goals into smaller, doable steps. It makes things less overwhelming and gives you achievable targets to aim for. Advice 9. If you walk into a restaurant and the bathrooms are dirty, get out of there. It's likely, though not always, that the kitchen's dirty too. If the manager doesn't care about what customers can see, they definitely don't care about what they can't, which spikes your chances of food poisoning. Advice 10. Find a pair of socks you really like. Buy 40 pairs. Toss all your other socks. Now you can grab any 2 socks and have a matching pair. If one gets stained or has holes, no big deal. Throw it out, you've got plenty more. Advice 11. To remember something, put an object out of place and tie it to the memory. For example, if I need to remember to bring something to work but I'm about to fall asleep, I place my water bottle on my phone. When I wake up, I notice it, wonder why, and remember the task. It also works by visualizing a spot in my house I'll pass by. Usually happens in the shower when I remember something I need to do. I focus, picture the space, and repeat in my mind, when you see this, remember to do that. Then, when I see the object, I recall the action. Sounds like it wouldn't work, but it does for me. Advice 12. I realized most of my anger issues were actually caused by anxiety. Not controlling a situation doesn't mean I need to mentally generate a solution and react emotionally when things don't go as expected. Shrugging and saying, "Guess we're doing it the dumb way today," is way less stressful than losing my temper over lack of control. I just follow the plan unless it'll hurt someone. It's been years since I remember being angry at work. I still get disappointed, but it doesn't ruin my day. Advice 13. Crying is healthy and good when you're sad, but sometimes it's awkward. In those cases, controlling your breathing stops the tears. Breathe slowly and deeply until you feel better in public. If you're alone, singing works too. Anything that disrupts your breathing cuts the tears off at the source. Just make sure to let it out and cry properly later when you have time and space. Advice 14. Don't play the victim. Everyone has bad things happen, but it's still your problem to solve. Focus on what you can control instead of blaming factors you can't. It'll get you further in life. Advice 15. I always say it's better to do things halfway than not at all. Doing part of a task, half the dishes, some laundry, cleaning part of the bathroom, vacuuming one room, is better than letting mess pile up until it's overwhelming. Advice 16. To stop eating junk food, don't quit because it'll make you fat. Quit because it's garbage, period. Once you shift your mindset to see junk food, restaurant food, cafeteria food, sugary drinks as trash you don't know how it's made, you'll automatically start hating it. You can't quit junk food for a goal, but you can quit if you start hating it. This is the second best thing that ever happened to me. Advice 17. Don't post your personal life on social media unless you're an influencer getting paid for it. Broadcasting your life attracts people who might take advantage of you. Advice 18. Download apps for fast food places that offer reward points. Whenever you go or pass by, look for receipts on the ground. Scan them for points. Free food. Advice 19. Be as kind as you can as often as you can. It's a long-term investment that pays off. I got my first real job because I remembered the receptionist's name when I was greeted. I was a good candidate, but probably not the best. I stayed a minute or two after the interview as she walked me out, and apparently that made a difference. Years later, she told me I was the only candidate who bothered to remember her name and mentioned it to the hiring manager. Never underestimate what 90 seconds of your time can mean to someone. That receptionist probably gets yelled at by 10 people a day for things that aren't her fault, and all it takes is one person being kind to make an impression. Advice 20. Check out jewelry at thrift stores. Volunteers there often don't know much about gold. I make a decent amount each year buying jewelry from secondhand shops. Advice 21. Stretch every morning when you wake up. My grandpa taught me this. He's 94 now and still does everything like he's 50, even runs. Sure, genetics play a part, but a life of morning stretches, even just a couple of minutes, doesn't hurt your body. Advice 22. If you're prone to anxiety attacks, keep super sour candies on hand. I usually take meds for anxiety attacks, but sour candies work too. It's thought to be the shock of the sourness on your system. Your body can only handle one crisis at a time, and the sudden chaos in your mouth seems to divert your brain's attention from the anxiety attack. Advice 23. Have a designated spot for things like glasses, sunglasses, keys, and phones. If someone in the house finds one of these items lying around, they return it to that spot. For example, if I see my partner's sunglasses out, I put them in the designated place. That way we both know where to look. Pro tip: being organized is a refined form of laziness. Advice 24. Give a crying child water. They often start crying for a reason but keep going because they can't stop. Drinking water forces them to breathe, and the sensation shifts their focus enough to calm down. Advice 25. If you make a mistake, just admit it. If you forgot to do something at work, say, "Yeah, my fault, sorry, I messed up." People are far more likely to forgive you if you own your errors. Advice 26. For gift buying, keep a running list in your phone's notes app throughout the year. Whenever friends or family mention something they want, share a joke, or spark an idea, jot it down under their name. When it's time to buy a gift, check the list. Advice 27. Contrary to the Eat What You Want Club, control the quality of what you consume. Food quality is a game changer for how you feel daily. Improving food quality fixed a lot of my energy issues. Oh, and that caffeine addiction you're so proud of? It's probably behind about 40% of your life's problems. Advice 28. I worked in maintenance for a huge school district. Whenever I was sent to a school with a reputation for grumpy, complaining admin staff, I'd show up with a big smile, acting like the friendliest, clueless puppy who doesn't know it's a cranky school. Then at the right moment I'd casually say, "I really like coming to this school, everyone's so nice." It's like a magic spell. The grumps would try to live up to my unrealistic view of them and were at least reasonable, if not outright pleasant. It felt like cheating, but I was just giving them an example they wanted to follow. It helped that I was the guy sent when no one else could fix the problem, because I always could. Advice 29. If you're walking towards someone and hit that awkward moment where you don't know whether to go right or left, look down in the direction you choose. I always look down and right, and it works amazingly well. It subtly signals your intention. Advice 30. I realized I needed 3 hobbies to be happy. 1 creative, 1 physical, 1 social. For socializing, I do weekly board game nights. It gives me something to look forward to. For physical, I go to the gym, which I honestly hate, so I also started hiking. It's great because it can be social and fun too. For creativity, I do drawing, knitting, and other sewing crafts. I also count reading because it sparks thinking and imagination. I've been much happier since figuring this out. I've always had a list of hobbies I want to try, but this helps me organize them. Advice 31. My trick for meeting people or feeling less awkward in social situations. When the conversation stalls or needs a nudge, ask what people around you did that day. It's simple, but not many people get asked this regularly, so you're likely to get a genuine response and make them feel you're interested and engaged. It works for work events, family you haven't seen in a while, or a friend of a friend you're left alone with. It's probably also a great icebreaker for a first date. Advice 32. The only thing controlling your mind and body is you. Go outside in the rain and fight the urge to run back inside. Find your zen, overcome your basic instincts, and then figure out how to apply that to the rest of your life. Hunger, anxiety, self-esteem issues, etc. You have to push through, master, and control them. Advice 33. For public speaking where you need to seem competent and relaxed but might be nervous. While waiting to go on, force yourself to yawn. It makes you look relaxed to others and signals to your body that you're fine. We don't yawn when we're in danger. It's also a sneaky way to take a deep breath. If your hands shake, hold something, not paper, which makes trembling more visible, but a pen or something you can grip. You can also lean on a desk or podium. If your voice shakes, cough, clear your throat and sip water, then say, "Sorry." It gives you a chance to reset and breathe deeply. People feed off your nervousness, and ignoring a shaky voice can make things awkward for everyone. It's more comfortable for everyone, including you, if it's just something in your throat. If you're out of breath or need to sip water or breathe deeply, just do it. It feels like a huge pause, but it's not. Pausing shows confidence. If you're really uncomfortable, fake a technical issue like a slide not advancing, to buy time to breathe while you fix it. Most important, practice. That means keep doing it even if it's scary, but also practice in your car or alone. For a high-pressure presentation, rehearse it repeatedly, write it out, or record yourself and listen back. Over time, you'll need this less as you gain confidence, but it helps when you do. It's amazing how many people think they don't need to practice public speaking just because they can talk in normal conversations. It's a skill. The more you practice, the better you get. Advice 34. I realized I'd never be rich. I had to accept that, with my education, family circumstances, job market, and economy, no matter how hard I worked, I'd never reach the financial security you see on TV, in ads, or read about. So, I embraced planned poverty. A lot was due to poor circumstances, some bad decisions, but in the end, I retired comfortably. I don't have much, just a small rustic cabin in the woods on a mountainside, but I feel content and relatively successful. I'm happy. If we all realized we don't need a giant house with a pool, luxury cars, or designer brands, we'd all be happier. Advice 35. If someone acts irrationally, there's usually a reason behind it. Most people are rational and get along with those around them. Always respond with kindness and understanding. If you respond with negativity, you won't get positivity or progress. Most people share similar insecurities, which is why we see them in everyone around us. This can make us retreat into our own thoughts, overthink, or project. People who attack your insecurities often start with their own. Understand the power of being the motivator who makes the next move. In social interactions, sometimes the responsibility to decide or act falls on you. If it's important, take it seriously. If not, it's not worth the effort, but you still have the initiative, so you can wield that power. Accept losses quickly, analyze them, but don't dwell. Sinking into the depression of defeat kills motivation. At the end of the day, you have to get up and try again. Success comes from repeating your approach until failure isn't an option. Lastly, forgive words, not actions. Words are easy, they map out and theorize action. If someone disrespects you with words, treat them like a sibling with your words and actions. Most people are rational and will eventually recognize your kindness, forcing them to choose between betrayal or coexistence. If they choose betrayal, you've done all you could, walk away.